You feel it right now, don't you? That tightness in your chest when someone disrespects you. That surge of heat when things don't go your way. That voice in your head replaying the argument from 3 days ago, the insult from last week, the rejection that still stings. You lie awake at night, your mind racing through scenarios that haven't happened yet, rehearsing conversations with people who aren't even there. Your heart pounds before meetings. Your stomach turns before confrontations. You scroll through your phone at 2 in the morning because sleep feels impossible when your thoughts won't stop attacking you. You've snapped at people you love. You've made decisions you regret because anger hijacked your judgment. You've held back from opportunities because fear whispered that you weren't ready, weren't good enough, would certainly fail. How many times have you felt powerless against your own emotions? How many times have you watched yourself react in ways you hate, then felt disgusted afterward? You know you're capable of more. You know there's a version of you that doesn't flinch, doesn't spiral, doesn't break. But that version feels distant, unreachable, like watching someone else live the life you want. The worst part isn't the emotions themselves. It's the feeling that they control you, that you're a passenger in your own mind, watching your reactions unfold without your permission. And every day that passes like this, you feel yourself becoming smaller, weaker, more trapped inside a mental prison you can't escape. Think about yesterday. How much energy did you waste on things that didn't matter? How much mental space did you surrender to people who don't respect you, to situations you can't change, to outcomes you can't control? Think about last month. How many hours did you lose to anger that achieved nothing, to anxiety that protected you from nothing, to fear that prevented everything? Now think about last year. What could you have built if you hadn't been fighting your own mind? What relationships could you have deepened? What goals could you have reached? The cost isn't just time. It's your confidence, your peace, your sense of being a man who owns himself. Every moment you spend enslaved to reactive emotions is a moment you're not building the life you actually want. And here's the truth that hurts. Nothing changes until you decide it changes. Not next week when things calm down. Not next month when you're less busy. Not next year when circumstances improve. Right now. Because the man you're becoming is being shaped by what you do today, this hour, this moment. The question isn't whether you want to change. The question is whether you're willing to do what change requires. 2,000 years ago, men faced the same internal battles you face now. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, commanded armies and governed millions, yet he wrote in his private journal about the daily struggle to master his own reactions. Epictetus, born a slave, discovered that even in chains his mind remained free. Seneca, advisor to emperors, recognized that wealth and power meant nothing if a man couldn't control his inner world. These men developed a philosophy not for comfort, but for survival. They called it Stoicism, and it begins with one fundamental distinction. There are things within your control and things beyond it. Your emotions arise automatically, that's biology. But your response to those emotions, your interpretation of events, your chosen perspective, these belong entirely to you. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending nothing bothers you. That's denial, and denial breaks eventually. This is about understanding that between stimulus and response, there exists a space. In that space lives your freedom. Your anger doesn't force you to speak. Your fear doesn't force you to retreat. Your anxiety doesn't force you to spiral. These emotions are information, nothing more. They're weather patterns in your mind, and you are not the weather. You are the sky that contains it. The Stoics understood something most modern men have forgotten. External control is an illusion, but internal sovereignty is always available, always within reach, always yours to claim. Fear emerges from your brain's threat detection system. designed to keep your ancestors alive when predators hunted them. That system scans for danger constantly, calculating risk, imagining worst outcomes. In ancient environments, this saved lives. In modern life, it misfires continuously. Your brain can't distinguish between a genuine physical threat and a difficult conversation. It treats public speaking like a lion attack, treats financial uncertainty like starvation, treats social rejection like exile from the tribe. So you feel that same primal fear response, that same urge to flee, even when nothing truly dangerous is happening. The Stoic reframing is simple but profound. Ask yourself what you actually control in this moment. Not the outcome. Not other people's reactions. Not the future. You control your preparation, your effort, your response. Epictetus taught that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about events. Fear grows when you focus on what might happen. It shrinks when you focus on what you're doing right now. This present action, this current breath, this immediate choice, these are real. Everything else is imagination. Anger feels like strength, but it's actually weakness disguised as power. It surges when reality contradicts your expectations, when people don't behave as you think they should, when circumstances defy your preferences. That surge feels righteous, feels justified, feels like you're standing up for yourself. But watch what anger actually accomplishes. It clouds your judgment. It damages relationships. It makes you say things you can't take back and make decisions you'll regret tomorrow. The evolutionary purpose of anger was to mobilize you for conflict, to prepare your body for physical confrontation. But most modern conflicts aren't solved through aggression. They require clarity, strategy, calm communication. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that other people will do thoughtless, selfish, ignorant things because they don't see the world as he does. Getting angry about this is like getting angry at a fig tree for producing figs. The Stoic approach asks, what did you expect? People act according to their nature and understanding. Your anger doesn't change them. It only disturbs your peace. You can respond to wrongs without emotional chaos. Justice doesn't require rage. Boundaries don't require fury. Strength is staying calm when others lose control. Anxiety is fear stretched across time. Your mind running simulations of terrible futures that haven't happened and likely never will. It's your brain trying to solve unsolvable problems, trying to control uncontrollable outcomes, trying to eliminate uncertainty from an inherently uncertain existence. You replay past mistakes, searching for what you should have done differently. You rehearse future scenarios, trying to prepare for every possibility. This mental churning feels productive, feels like you're doing something useful, but it's just suffering in advance. Seneca observed that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of what you worry about never occurs. And even when difficulties do arise, they're rarely as catastrophic as your anxiety predicted. The Stoic practice is redirecting focus from projected futures to present tasks. What can you do today? What small action moves you forward? Anxiety dissolves when you stop trying to mentally control tomorrow and start physically engaging with now. You cannot think your way out of anxiety. You can only act your way out. Every time you choose present action over future worry, you train your mind toward peace. Every time you refuse the invitation to spiral, you become stronger. Begin each morning with negative visualization. Spend 3 minutes imagining challenges you might face today. See yourself responding with calm, with clarity, with control. This isn't pessimism. It's preparation. When difficulties arise, you've already mentally rehearsed your composed response. Throughout your day, practice the pause. When you feel emotion rising, anger building, anxiety beginning, stop. Take 3 deep breaths before you speak or act. In that pause, ask the Stoic question, is this within my control? If yes, what action do I take? If no, why am I suffering over it? This simple pause creates the space between stimulus and response where your freedom lives. Finally, conduct evening reflection. Review your day without judgment. Where did you maintain control? Where did emotions control you? What will you do differently tomorrow? This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, about becoming conscious of your patterns so you can gradually reshape them. Daily practice builds mental strength, the same way daily training builds physical strength. Imagine yourself as the sky. Emotions are weather patterns, clouds and storms that pass through. Sometimes the weather is violent. Thunder crashes. Lightning strikes. Rain pours. But the sky isn't damaged by weather. The sky contains it, allows it, remains unchanged by it. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your anxiety. You are the awareness that observes these things, the consciousness that experiences them without being defined by them. This is the Stoic separation, the observer stance that creates freedom. When you identify with your emotions, you're trapped in the storm. When you recognize yourself as the space in which emotions arise and pass, you discover unshakable peace. The storm doesn't disappear. You just stop believing you are the storm. You remember you're the sky, vast and clear and fundamentally untouched. This is sovereignty. This is mastery. This is freedom that no external circumstance can remove. This practice requires commitment, not perfection. You will fail. You will lose control. You will react emotionally when you meant to respond calmly. That's being human. The difference is what you do next. Do you give up, convinced you'll never change? Or do you return to practice, understanding that mastery is built through repeated attempts, not flawless execution? Every morning is a new opportunity. Every moment is a fresh start. The ancient Stoics weren't superhuman. They were ordinary men who committed to daily practice and became extraordinary through repetition. You have that same capacity. You have that same choice. Right now in this moment, you can decide to reclaim your mind. Drop a comment below with, "I am the sky, not the storm," if you're committing to this practice. And subscribe to Anonymous Achiever channel for more Stoic wisdom that builds unshakable mental strength. Your transformation starts today. The only question is whether you'll begin.